Hi everyone, welcome to USstreamer for Friday, April 1st. This is not a joke, this is not a dream, not a hoax, not an imaginary live stream. It's actually me playing Metal Storm. I'm Jeremy Parrish, and if you happen to follow the Retronauts podcast, or if you happen to follow the website where you would have seen the Retronauts podcast, I did an episode, a mini micro episode, this Monday on the game Metal Storm for NES. Sam Claiborne joined me, so instead of doing a video for that, because it would be weird to do like the narrative video style thing that I normally do for micros with someone else on the stream or on the podcast, I decided to go with a stream, so you can see the game in action, and I can add this back to the podcast page or whatever later. But Metal Storm is a pretty cool game, developed by Tamtex, a small developer also known for what is it called? Hammer and Harry, and published by IREM, which is why you'll never get to play it unless you pay a lot of money for a used copy. IREM is out of the video game business. They just do pachinko now. And maybe there's a chance that Granzella, which is run by Kazuma Kujo, who was the Disaster Report, and what else did he do? Steambot Chronicles. He was the guy who did that. He went off and created his own company called Granzella, and they bought a lot of IREM IPs, but I don't think this is one of them, and more's the pity. Anyway, so I'm playing now, and it starts out pretty slow before it gets crazy hard, but as you can see, I'm a robot suit running around with a gun, and I have the ability to flip gravity. So the way it works is if you jump, but if you jump while pressing in one direction or the other, then you will cause gravity to flip. And it's not just you that flips, it's everything. So this becomes, it almost turns not quite into a puzzle platformer, but a little bit. Figuring out the way everything works and the way the mechanics work is kind of essential. And there are some things you need to get used to, like these platforms here. You know, you can do the contra thing where you can jump up through them but not down. But if you switch gravity, you can jump upside down through them. It gets a little brain bending. But you can see those little arrows. I'm shooting at the arrows right now. Those show the direction in which you can pass through. So this is kind of the first, like, hey, guess what? You need to figure out how to use gravity thing here. This pit is too wide to jump, I think, with my normal jump. So you flip, and you get an extension on your jump. And then there's that gun right there to say hello, because this is an NES game, and it's not here to be your friend, it's here to make you die. The level's actually pretty easy, the first stage. I say that, but of course, you know, anytime I say something like that, I immediately die after. But yeah, this level's not too difficult. One of the power-ups I just collected is pretty rad, though. It turns me into a fireball when I flip gravity, and that will allow me to destroy anything, including fireballs from other enemies, projectiles, and so forth. So that's rad. And there's a lot of different ways you can go about beating stuff in this game, like shooting things. I mean, I could flip upside down here and destroy this gun from above, or I could drop down to the ground and shoot it from below, because you can pass through, your shots can pass through barriers that you can pass through, but it's probably safest just to take this approach. And that guy turns to face me, which is not cool, but when you duck, projectiles that are your head height fly over you, even though it doesn't really look like you are ducking beneath stuff because you're a big, clunky mecha suit, and that's just a quirk of the animation, but you have to take it on faith. So yeah, I can do the super jump thing and just smash into stuff if I really want to. In this case, I can only get through to the rest of the stage if I'm upside down and jump through these barriers, these platforms. So the game kind of eases you into the workings of things. Then there's this guy who takes a lot of bullets to destroy, and this is a one-way impermeable barrier right here, so if you don't blow that thing up before it pushes you against the wall, you die. And there's another power-up kind of hidden there, and that turns my gun into something cool. Oh, and it looks like my fireball went away. That's a shame. because that thing is handy. Alright, I'm about to face the boss. Before I do that, I'm going to pause and look at the stream. Let's see what the chat says. Alright, no crazy questions that I need to answer. People are comparing this to the letter V 6 times, what is technically the name of that game. And it is very similar to that. Flipsider99, great name for the stream, says that I can only have one power-up at a time. So I screwed myself over by taking the plasma beam. So I really should have just stayed with the fireball, because the next boss, or the first boss you face, is really... it's pretty tricky and shoots a lot of projectiles that you have to pass through safely. So let's go on and see what happens. It's probably not going to be pretty, but we'll give it a shot. Yeah, so I can't actually shoot through the barrier gun arm things there, so I'm just going to be lazy and stay on the ground. I don't think there's a timer on this. Oh, I see how it is. Alright. Okay, so actually, if you don't try to take out the boss on all panels, it's kind of easy. How about that? My mistake when I was practicing this game for the stream was to try to jump up to the ceiling and shoot those weak spots on the side, but I guess you don't need to do that. Sebastian Nebula says, what's with the main character color swap in the US version? I don't know. What color swap are you talking about? I was not aware that there was a color swap. Although, the robot is orange and it wasn't solid orange on the cover of Nintendo Power, it had some blue, so maybe that's it. And in any case, this is a game with some really nice graphics, and yeah, those dudes are being jerks. So that right there was kind of like a little devious bit of level design. You can only go through these barriers one direction, so by going the way I did, I took one power-up and 4 went the other. And here's where you start to see kind of the weird physics of the game. There's no way through here. The platform I'm standing on is impermeable, so you actually have to warp the screen around kind of like Pac-Man style. So it's all kind of this Mobius strip effect. And if I were really awesome, I could probably get that B power-up, but I don't think I'm awesome enough to do that. Those things are fast. So rather than embarrass myself on the stream, I'll play it safe. Oh! And even if I play it safe, I still die. But it looks like I had a shield, so that was good. Oh! And that was not good. Alright, I should have done some more practice before I played this, but you live and you learn. Actually, you die and you learn. That's the secret of the NES. The game does have really great graphics in an interesting sort of way. They're not necessarily the best in terms of art design. They're good, but they can be a little plain. The appeal, I think, is in the animation. It has really fluid animation, and hopefully you guys are seeing this at 60 frames per second, the way God intended. Because if you actually are able to look at this, with a good frame rate, then you can really appreciate the animation. 30 frames per second is just kind of like, whatever. So yeah, here's where it starts to get kind of tricky. There's a one up there if I'm really feeling bold. You have to like work your way through. Wonder if I can do that. Nope, I blew it. So we'll try to go for the one-up, lost a life. That's what happens when you get greedy. Of course, then I did it just fine. Alright, so here's barriers that flip around when you change gravity. And I think you can get yourself stuck and crushed beneath those, so you have to be careful. I see that the bad guys can shoot through walls, which is kind of cheating. but I guess they wouldn't be bad guys if they played fair. So yeah, it gets the sort of Mobius strip effect. It gets a little tricky and I guess not confusing, but slightly vexing before too long. Oh yeah, man, that doesn't just crush you; it kills you. I am not a pinball. All right, so fortunately, the game is very generous. I don't think there's limited continues in this game, so I will just keep going and see what happens. Oh, that trick worked for me last time, but not that time. The game background really does a number on the stream compression. Sorry, I have this stream going at a pretty high bitrate, so I apologize if it looks crappy. I don't know what to tell you, except that the internet hates us and is terrible. If the stream results look too terrible, then I will maybe upload my original recording of the stream. I think I'm recording it. And I'm not having good luck shooting that guy. He's my new enemy. This is looking good, folks. Thanks for joining me. In case you're just logging in and wondering, who is this guy who can't play Metal Storm? It's me, Jeremy Parrish of USgamer. Thanks for watching. 300 points! That's probably some kind of record. Alright, so I have 2 remaining 308 gunners. Let's stop doing fancy stuff and just get on with the nuts and bolts of gaming. That's what I should have done to begin with. See, he can be taught. Oh, I didn't mean to flip there. Dang it. Someone in the stream asked if there is any storyline or plot to this game. I have no idea. The manual costs like $100, so it gives you a title screen when you start up, and you start running around and blowing stuff up, and that's really, to me, that's enough story for an NES game. Ah! Dope. Fortunately, I am not as smart as an animal, so I'm very poor at pattern recognition and memorization. Of course, most of the dogs in the Chekhov, or not Chekhov, what's the dude's name? Pavlov, yes. The Pavlovian tests were not trying to do live streams of tricky video games while they were learning to salivate over meat powder. I did it again. I'm not sure why that keeps flipping when I'm not trying to flip. You have to be kind of careful with the jumping in this, because if you don't press perfectly to the right or left, there's a chance you'll flip upside down, even when you're not meaning to. I'm just trying to imagine if this were on a Sega Master System with its tricky diagonals. That would be... I said on Twitter that this stream was mostly going to be me playing the first level over and over again, but I was mistaken. It's actually going to be me playing the second level over and over again. I'll figure this out eventually, though. Just you wait. There we go. Congratulations, me. I made a jump without killing myself. And... I wonder if I want to go down here. I don't! What a terrible idea. Well, that was a waste of time. Alright. So here's a blind leap. Who knows where I'll go? Oh, into an infinite strip. And that looks devious. Oh, right, I just jumped down there. Yeah, this whole upside down thing it really bends the mind after a while. I keep saying that, but I am living proof. Ah, damn it! Alright, well, I had a barrier, now I don't have a barrier. And I've made it to this... oh, to the boss, finally, at long last. Alright. This is the cheap approach. I'm not committing. I'm just jumping up and shooting that thing while it's vulnerable. There's no time limit on these battles. Whoops. Did not mean to do that. A cool technique. Almost blew through my face. You might call this approach to this battle cowardly, but I call it, I don't want to play through level 2 on this stream again. So there we go, on to level 3. Someone asked if I could have gone right and shot those guys from underneath. No, there was a platform, like a firm platform, impermeable barrier, kind of housing each of those things. So you do have to shoot them from the front. And also they're only vulnerable on the upper portion. Oh, here's where it starts to really mess with your head. Wah! That background is nuts. And all these crazy background designs make it really complicated. So there's spikes down there, these little minecart things. Yeah. So this is your messing with your mind for the day. Nope. Okay, so occasionally you can get lucky and save yourself from a bad jump by hitting the gravity flip. Looks like I've powered down because I'm now on fire. I think this is, what, a shield? I like that. I forfeited my barrier, or my fireball thing, for... I don't even know what A is. I probably should have read the manual, except I don't own it. Because like I mentioned before, it's really expensive. Yeah, there's a gun up there that can target me. That's not cool. Alright. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this, although that's what I always say right before I die horribly. Now it looks like I'm done with the bad guys, so on to section 2 of stage 3. How many of you in the stream actually own this game? It's kind of hard to come by these days. I actually remember buying it back in the day because it had a Nintendo Power cover and it kind of looked cool. And I think I found it, I bought it used at a putt-putt of all places, mini golf, in the very brief time that they had a video game rental set up, at least in my town. So there was a used copy for sale that I bought. It was much cheaper than the game costs now. But like I said, it's been a very long time since I've played this all the way to completion. I think I usually give up around the bosses that are just like boxes that you have to jump on. It's very difficult, and I surrender at that point. Let's see if I can make it past that. It's been long enough that I actually don't remember this part of the game, so it's not so much a statement on the memorability of the game, it's a statement on my forgetfulness, my aging and senility. And it looks like I might be at the boss already. Hooray! That was, wow, I don't even know what's going on here. Seems dangerous, though. Yeah! Game over. Man, I hope I don't have to start from the midpoint of 3. Oh, I sure do. Well, I did okay on this one, so maybe it won't be so bad. So yeah, the fact that this game is no longer available for purchase in any form whatsoever, aside from, you know, the aftermarket, is really just a great example of why it sucks when did the jump thing again. Why it sucks when great publishers go out of business, because, you know, like I said, unless there's the slim chance that Granzella bought the rights to this game, which seems pretty unlikely since it wasn't internally developed at IRIM, so I'm sure IRIM's staff has no particular fondness for it. What was I saying? Oh, just that it sucks, yeah. You know, IRIM was a big supporter of Nintendo Virtual Console for a little while, and PlayStation Network Classics, but back in, you know, 2011, they basically got out of the games business. They had been looking to do that for a while, and the Tohoku earthquake was kind of their excuse to get out. Not that they were being cynical about it, but it just kind of gave them a kind of a natural break point. I mean, because their big game that they were going to release, that they were promoting really heavily, was a new disaster report game, which is all about earthquake survival, and they felt it was really cynical to, or the company line was that it would be really cynical to publish a game about earthquake survival in the wake of such a devastating earthquake. Although, you know, I think there's actually something to be said for a game that is kind of based on those real-life situations. But they canceled Disaster Report 4 and basically pulled out of the video games business altogether. They delisted R-type games, Virtual Console games. There we go. Oh, it got me. So whatever chance there was that this would have shown up on Virtual Console was kind of went out the window when IRIM abandoned console gaming. That's too tricky. All right. Someone asked, was this one on Virtual Console? No, this game was never released on Virtual Console. It would have been so good if it had, but again, it wasn't developed internally at IRIM, so there's always kind of, you know, the rights questions when you have sort of not a second-party game, but externally developed. I think Tamtex actually became absorbed into IRIM at some point, but I don't know. You know, if this was probably a work for hire under contract, so who knows who actually owns the rights to this game. They may not even know at this point. Ugh, come on now. But if you ever find a copy of this game for less than like $100, you should buy it, because the price is only going up, and it's not getting any easier to find or any less desirable. The price of the game in Japan already is like $200 for a bare card, and $400 I think is what I saw it selling for last time I was over there. So that's unreasonably expensive. It's not quite that bad here, but it's getting there, and I'm sure it's just, you know, one Angry Video Game Nerd episode away from going, you know, for like a second mortgage price. I heard that the game Sky Kid has gone through the roof in terms of aftermarket price because of some video show that it was on. Like a bare cartridge of Sky Kid is now selling for close to $100, which is ridiculous because that game's garbage. But someone posted a video about it making fun of it, and a million nerds saw it and were like, yes, I want to own this piece of garbage. I don't really understand video game collectors sometimes. At least this game is actually legitimately really cool and different. Sky Kid, not so much. It's like, what if Time Pilot, but not good? You know, in my spare time I do a lot of sort of retrospective videos on Game Boy and now NES, and some of the games that are super priced out of the market are just ridiculous. Like, they're games you wouldn't expect. They're not good games. And you kind of wonder, like, how did this game get to be so expensive? Right now I'm looking at... dang it. I gotta stop talking while I'm playing this. Right now I'm looking at the prices on the game Scoon, which was also by Irem, kind of like a spiritual precursor to In the Hunt, Sub-Warfare for NES. That thing's selling for like $300, which is ridiculous because that's also not a very good game. But the nerds want what they want. And the eBay gougers want what they want, which is a lot of money. Ah, dang it. Alright, I need to stop making fun of people on eBay and actually pay attention to what I'm doing. Sebastian Nebula says, what I'm saying is that he should become a famous YouTube personality in order to up the value of your NES collection. Yes, that's correct. It's no work whatsoever. You just have to call yourself, like, the infuriated video game geek, and I'm sure people will flock to you. Because it worked for James Rolfe, and everyone said, I'm riding that gravy train. You'd be surprised how much capacity there is for celebrity based on being unhappy about old video games. It's a cottage industry. Unfortunately, I just don't have the energy to be angry about video games. Maybe about, like, video game culture, but I missed out. I missed my calling. If YouTube had been around in the 90s, maybe I could have been something, but no, I missed my chance. I was born in the wrong era. I was born too soon, so instead I got to pay off my college loans and get a real job, which is a rarity these days. So I guess I can't complain. I guess I should mix things up sometime and get that A down there, but I don't actually know what that is, and I like the plasma beam. It's got a nice wide range, which I'm sure would be really great against that boss if I could avoid dying long enough to shoot the boss some more. I don't know why I keep missing that guy. Alright, so... hello, anyone who's just joining in. Actually, it looks like the audience for this episode's pretty stable, the stream. But in case some people dropped out and some new people came in, hi, thanks for joining us. I'm Jeremy Parrish of USgamer.net, and this is our weekly retro game stream. It was supposed to be yesterday, but I wasn't feeling good. And this game, Metal Storm, is just way too much to take on if you're feeling under the weather, because, I mean, it's all about flipping upside down and reversing gravity, and look at that background, look at what it's doing, that's impossible. So, yeah, I decided to take the day off yesterday, and I'm streaming today instead, and still not doing a great job, even though I'm feeling better today, but that's just, you know, Metal Storm for you. It's tricky and weird, but in a good way. Probably pretty influential on games like the letter V 6 times. Oh, I thought I got that guy. Dang it. Gravity Rush. There haven't been that many video games that are about flipping gravity, so it's still kind of a unique experience in a lot of ways. I think on NES there was also the Gravity Man stage of Mega Man 5. That's about it that I can think of. On this week's Retronauts, Sam Claiborne suggested that maybe the Adventures of Rad Gravity were about that, but despite the name, that was not the case. It was neither rad nor about gravity. So that's no truth in advertising in the NES era. But yeah, Metal Storm, pretty cool, developed again by a company called Tamtex that didn't really make that many games, and certainly none that were as technically and conceptually interesting as this. Like, this is... It's one of those things where you're just like, where did that come from? I'm trying to think of a good metaphor without, insulting hardworking game developers, and I can't think of any, so I'm just going to say it's unique and unexpected, and actually managed to get a Nintendo Power cover back in the day because it was coming out in the era where the NES was kind of slowing down, but the Super NES hadn't quite picked up, so Nintendo Power was a little short on content that month and said, alright, we'll show Metal Storm. Okay, I think I've got the pattern here. There we go. Alright, I'm halfway through the game. And halfway through the stream, but I don't think I'm going to make it to the end of the game this session. This is just a really tough game. And I'm already starting to feel that kind of mental exhaustion you get when you play a really tough game and find yourself repeating stuff. And this stage is crazy. Oh man. Yeah, so like the entire time you're just in this box and you're avoiding hazards by flipping back and forth within this frame. I wonder if this was inspired by Nintendo's Devil World, which had kind of a similar concept to it, the frame moving around in a Pac-Man maze. And you have to do stuff like that. You have those guys shooting at you, it's like Jetfire, but he hates you. I don't even know. So yeah, this is a pretty taxing level in my opinion. I don't know if I'm going to make it through here. Although, I'm doing okay. But, there's always that point where it's like, no, screw you, you're gonna die now. Those guys regenerate? That's not cool. Okay, so halfway through, and I don't even know what's happening now. These are like Chinese dragon statues coming at me. Ah! Alright, once you kill off a few of them, it actually gets a little less taxing. Alright, so that's... Please tell me that was stage 4 complete, not just halfway through. If that was just halfway through, I'm going to be really sad. Oh, I was just halfway through. Curse you, Tamtex. Why must you hate me? Oh man, this barrier is amazing! Alright, so maybe I'll just keep the barrier. Whoa! I had no idea that the barrier was basically indestructible. That's fantastic. Whoa. Kind of need the barrier, huh? These guys are shooting. The bullets are so tiny against this detailed background that it's kind of hard to see what I'm dodging. Oh, why are you doing this to me? I picked the wrong one to shoot. I think I had a shield, so that was good. Not a shield, but like a barrier. Oh, too late. My little shield couldn't protect against that guy. But I do like that when you Not when you continue, but when you... Oh, nice! Way to go! When you resume on a new life, not when you continue, you carry over the weapon that you died with. So that's pretty handy. I think if there's a shield right here, yeah. So just die already. Okay, I dig this. I'm into it. Oops. Oh no, I lost my shield. Now I'm dead. I deserved that. The alphabet is not my friend. Yeah, this is one of those games that where I feel like the first time I played through a challenge, there's a good chance that I'm going to do a lot better than any other time, when I'm just going on instinct as opposed to kind of knowing how things go. But we'll see. Sorry for the lack of clever banter, but this is kind of stressing me out. Oh, I did it again. Man. So the A is armor, but I feel like the shield is better because it actually takes a lot of hits. These little guys are really hard to destroy with just your gun. Maybe I can make it past one of the barriers this time. Or perhaps not. Alright, one down. Oh, right past my shield. That is not acceptable. So anyway, as you can see from my frustration and dying and sadness, this is a pretty tough game. That's how they made them back in the NES days. It's a really short game, it's like 6 stages, I think. And each stage is divided into 2 parts. So, you know, it's much shorter than your typical Super Mario Brothers or whatever. But it's really, really tough. Single-hit kills, crazy gravity reflex elements. It takes a lot of practice. And clearly I did not practice before this stream. Ugh. Curse you. Alright, so I feel like I should impose some sort of limit on myself for how many times I should continue, because, I don't know, at this rate we could be here all day, and I don't think anyone wants that. Certainly I don't. I'd like to get on with my weekend. I'm sure you can find like a YouTube channel that has people who are better at video games, playing video games better than I am. People with Game Sharks, people with skills, you know, whatever you kids are using these days to complete your video game experiences. Dang it, those stupid missiles. Alright, so I gotta slow down and take it easy next time. And I think this is my last life, so I'll probably get past those barriers and then die against the boss and have to do it all over again. So maybe I'm going to impose a limit on myself and say, whoa, another 5 minutes. I know these are usually an hour-long stream, but I don't know if I have the stamina. I'm old, I'm tired. I can see my life slipping away before my eyes. This isn't how I want to go. I don't know, playing a great video game is not a bad way to go, but I was still hoping to have, you know, a few more years of life in me. Someone in the stream pointed out the great internal animations for the bad guy robots, and yes, that is a big part of the game's appeal, is that everything is just lovingly rendered and animated. Even if I'm dying horribly. Ah, I did it again! I thought I was jumping over it that time. I know, I can turn gravity upside down. It's not that easy, though. So, anyway, maybe this will just be the gravity rush. The Metal Storm live stream part 1. We can call in a special guest host to do part 2. My younger self is just laughing at me. My younger self is like, wait a minute, your job is to play video games all day in front of people, and this is the best you can do? I feel like I've really let myself down. Oh. Come on, we can all agree that was just unjust. Man. Man. I tell you what. That barrier, I'm gonna have nightmares about that tonight. Alright, I think after I die against the barriers again, I'm going to continue one more time, and then call it a day. There's a slim chance I might actually make it to the next stage, but I kinda doubt it at this point. This thing is just it's gonna be the death of me. Oh, how about that? I actually got through. Now watch me die against something really simple and stupid. Yeah, like that! Ah, dang it! Those bastards. Alright. One more time, and then... Oh, someone gave me the password for the final stage. Yeah. Yeah. What is that, like a boss rush? If I'm not mistaken. Alright, so this is my final attempt at this game. Sorry to have not been more amazing as a Metal Storm player, but that's what happens when you get old. I'm like 3 times as old as I was the first time I played this game, you know? Time takes its toll. Oops. Yeah, what was I doing right there? Okay, that was just... I don't even know what I was doing. Maybe I'll switch to a different weapon. Is there a plasma beam here? S... A... Don't want either of those. There's a P, okay. Oops. Right on. Okay, this is turning out even more pathetic than I expected, so, it's kind of... Yeah... Alright, I'll hit continue one more time. That was embarrassing. Okay, the A power-up people are telling me to get, it doesn't overwrite any other power-up, it doesn't conflict, so that's good to know. Alright, so free hit. And the P. Okay, maybe this is the way to do it. You know what they say the definition of insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again and hoping for different results. Boy, why didn't I do this before? Oh yeah, and the plasma beam goes through walls. My god, what's wrong with me? Alright. Now I just have to survive those big ships flying around. Which, you know, it's tough. Diagonals? That's not fair. Ugh. Okay, well, thanks for the advice. I took armor. So at least you guys can see what the stage 4 boss is, although, that's not cool. What is it doing? Ah. Dope. Oh. Wow. Okay. That was by the skin of the teeth. Alright, so at least you guys get to see level 5. I'll play a little level 5, but next time I run out of lives, that's it for the game. You guys will just have to wonder forever, what is the rest of the game like? Oh, wow, that thing follows me. So the rest of the game is really horrible and mean. Now you know. Oh, it looks like I can blow it up somehow. I saw it flashing like it was vulnerable. Oh, what is that? It's the nothing. So there's a barrier chasing me from behind, kind of like the black hole in Gradius Gaiden. Oh! Whoa! Surprise! That was a little bit cheap. You have to admit that was a little cheap. But I'll make do. Yeah, I'm glad I got the plasma beam at the last stage. That's coming in really handy right now, since its wide beam can actually shoot enemy gun emplacements, even if I'm not directly targeting them. Look at that. Isn't that great? I don't know, in some ways this is a lot easier than the last stage. It's much more straightforward, you know, like normal platforming for sane people. I don't know what C is. Oh. It destroys everything. I like that. I don't know what S is, but I don't need it. One of these days I'm gonna take out a second mortgage on my house and get the manual for this game, so I actually know what I'm doing. Oh, what is that? That is super not cool. Pixel precision. Oh. That was a little cheap again. Yeah, come on. When something shoots you from off screen, that's not cool. But hey, I made it pretty close to the end of stage 5, so that's something. That was a productive 50 minutes. So, that's Metal Storm. Thanks everyone for watching the stream. And where was that? Where was that password? Maybe I'll put in the password and just see what happens. MZ3 SJ, what was that? C8 872. That's my social security number. Alright, so here's the final stage. I'm just going to have a look through here. Oh, someone gave me a little barrier, too. That's a nice password. Thank you, whoever that was. Yes, this is a boss rush, isn't it? Boss rushes suck. Also, I don't want this G thing. How do I get that? Past that. Oh. I guess we'll go up here. Dope. So I'll cheese this guy by standing in his blind spot. I guess that's how I beat him the first time. Anytime you want to put out that little core, that'd be great. Alright. One boss rush down. No. Now that I'm not having to replay the entire second stage to get to this guy, maybe I'll take more risks. Oh, come on, come on. That was a little bit unfair. Alright, 2 down. We'll see if I can actually make it to a boss that I haven't seen yet. Probably not. That third boss was kind of a jerk. Though all that dying did give me the pattern, so at least I do have that. I don't have armor this time, so this is not going to go well. Nope. Kinda cheap. Kinda cheap. I do like that the machine in the middle kind of looks like a heart, though, like an actual, human heart. Oop. Well, less time appreciating the art design and more time surviving would probably be in order. And that was that. Okay! Good job, me. Wait, how many lives does this password give me? There's no HUD on here, so I have no idea. I just assumed this was, like a typical password, but clearly not. I can just throw away my lives with impunity. Oops. Okay. I think that's probably enough. We've seen this guy already, and I did so much better last time. So I think we'll call this Metal Storm stream complete, if somewhat unfinished. And that's it. So thanks everyone for watching. Actually, I nearly went the entire hour, so excuse me. Good job for me. Appreciate everyone who came and watched and bared with me as I fumbled around. This was not an easy game, and hopefully that showed through. There were some cheaty bits, some crazy hard bits, some brain-bending bits, all the things you want from a classic NES game. So for US Gamer, this has been Jeremy Parrish. Thanks again for watching. I'm sure someone will be back next week with a stream of a newish game on Tuesday and a very old game on Thursday. Seems to be our way. So we'll see you then. Thanks a lot.